Hello, welcome back. I'm Lori Williams. I am a psychic medium, energy healer, animal communicator, and spiritual teacher. And today I want to talk to you about a little bit, going into a little bit more of a how to relieve some stress from you. Um, so, if you've watched the previous video, I talk about how we always have a choice. We always 100% have a choice. Even in not making a choice is still a choice. Unfortunately, even if we don't know where to go, it's like by default we're still making a choice. So ultimately, so many people I see so many people all the time constantly stuck in the stress state. Now, we need to understand too that the state of stress also comes from the fact that our body gets used to the dopamine and the cortisol that is produced when we're in a state of stress, and our nervous system is on high alert. So we do need to take that into account, and we need to like basically reteach our nervous system on how to calm down and how to just like to know when to shut down, because in our society these days we just go 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 all the time, and there's no such time for there's no time for rest, there's no time for self-care, there's no time for relaxation. So our nervous system is always in high alert. Therefore, we're always in a stress state, and that cortisol, dopamine, which is the feel good hormones when we're in a stress state that's supposed to help us calm down, actually becomes like a drug to us because we're just in that cycle constantly. Stress, then the cortisol and the dopamine, and the nervous system gets activated, and then it just keeps coming back around. And so ultimately, even in stressful states, we always have two choices. And I hope this video will help you to understand that your choice doesn't have to be stress. Your choice can actually you can choose to focus on the things that you're grateful for, that you appreciate, that light you up, that matter, like really truly matter to you. And if you are sitting in a place where you're just feeling like almost like you're chasing your own tail, so to speak, that you're just running from place to place to place, I encourage you to stop. I encourage you to close your eyes and just think about all the things that you're grateful for, to think about all the things that you appreciate. Do you appreciate the green light that you just went through? Do you appreciate the free coffee that a coworker just bought for you? Do you appreciate like whatever it is that you appreciate? It could be small things, it can be big things. If you're struggling to come up with what you appreciate, keep your eyes open and look around you. You know, what is it around you that you can appreciate? You can appreciate so much stuff. And even in the hustle and bustle of the life, that if you're going like taking your children to this appointment and that appointment and this extracurricular activity and that activity, even in all of that stress of going here, there, and everywhere, what can you appreciate? You can appreciate the time with your family, with your kids. You can appreciate the conversations that you may have on the way to these events. I know when my kids were small, the best conversations were always in the car. And to this day, if my kids want to have a deep conversation with me, they'll be like, "Mom, can we go for a drive?" Those were the best conversations. It was like I just got to sit there and listen, and they got to just look out the window and just talk. And actually, I heard them, and we connected on a different level, but they didn't feel like they were being. Um, it's almost like I wasn't. They weren't talking to their mom in that moment. There's like they were talking to a friend, and they needed that. So something like that. Definitely be grateful for that, and be aware that even in all the hectic and crazy um, of what life throws at you, there's always appreciation in everything. So, can you choose? You can choose to focus on how you have to go here, there, and then be here and there, and all these time constraints and stuff like that, and allow yourself to be more and more stressed out. Or you can choose to look at the things that you appreciate about that. Do you maybe appreciate the fact that when you take your child to gymnastics and they do really, really, really well and they're so proud of themselves, and you get to see them light up because they just landed a trick, or something like I don't even know what they're called, but they just landed something that they had been working on for the last two sessions, right? Like there's always things to appreciate, even in the craziness, even in the same thing that's causing the stress. there's things to appreciate. And you get to decide, you get to choose what it is that you want to focus on. So the next time that you find yourself overwhelmed, overstressed, I want you to stop and start to change that dynamic of what you're choosing to focus on. And stop yourself from focusing in that moment. Stop focusing on the thing that's causing the stress and start focusing on the thing that you appreciate within that thing that's causing the stress. And you'll start to realize that, if you're 5 minutes late, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. If you have to race across town for this appointment after taking this child here, it's not the end of the world. Absolutely not the end of the world. Everything, there's something to appreciate in every aspect of our lives, in everything that happens. Even in the worst of times, there's something to appreciate in it. It's up to you on what you decide to focus on. Because at the end of it all, it's up to you. You are the one that has the power to focus on the things that you want to focus on. And you don't have to go with that default programming that your ego mind and that your body focuses on, which is the stress aspect. You can start by being more intentional of what you're going to focus on. You can start changing that default programming from focusing on the stress to focusing on what you can appreciate about that moment while you're in that stress state. And eventually, you do this long enough, you're going to create your new default programming. And that's when life really becomes beautiful because you stop being stressed and you start living from a state of appreciation. And that's when you truly start living. All right. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you back here next time. Until then, take care. Bye for now.